Let's keep reviewing these curse techniques because I'm reviewing my followers' curse technique submissions, and if you ever want me to review one of yours, send me a DM on Instagram and I got you. Alright, this one comes from someone named Jonathan. He said, "Hey, I saw you were doing curse technique thingies, and well, I may have a black and white duo. They're like my OCs, but that's unimportant, so I will stick with the technique themselves." Now, getting to his technique, it's a lot, so bear with me here. I'm going to try to read it. I might try to summarize some of it, but let's get to it. He says, "I've called it cursed umbral manipulation, which is basically the manipulation of shadows. It's kind of like the Boogeyman and Rise of the Guardians." So he starts it by saying the shadows can physically manifest, they can harden like armor around himself, and he can use them like weapons similar to visual effects as like obsidian glass is how he puts it. He also says the shadows can consume things. It's basically like the 10 Shadows specifically, but with the assumption that there is a separate realm of shadow creatures that a 10 Shadows user has access to. And you're also able to send people to this realm, and it's like a dark, scary, shadowy place with shadow creatures running around, and he says, like Maharaga. It consumes a lot of cursed energy to use this, especially during the daytime, where there are a lot less natural shadows to call upon. You were able to use the real life shadows to step into, and like fast travel to another shadow somewhere else. He says, again, using the shadow domain in this context costs a lot, but Shadow Realm is also a useful pocket dimension because I'm pretty sure Megami pulls the same stuff. He doesn't really have a domain expansion for it, but he doesn't really think it needs one either. This bottom message right here says, to flip the coin though, I have my other guy who, to be fair, has a heavenly restriction, except his was kind of weird in the sense that he basically could only use reverse curse technique, thinking cleric spamming healing spells. So after rereading this is like a separate character, and they have like a Shoko level of healing abilities. They're also able to give inanimate objects life, kind of like how Yaga does with his dolls, and creating automations of nearby material, which he calls blessings. And with practice, the automations become more intelligent, and they're just creatures that he can assemble and disassemble. With these so-called blessings, he's also able to create light, because usually with cursed energy, things are like dark, and he thinks this is a good differentiation. Going into that, I didn't realize that it was going to be two different techniques or like two different people, but overall, they're pretty cool, man. I do like them, but they're a little bit of a stretch for like a typical sorcerer to be able to pull off, so it'll be a little bit hard to kind of get that to work right, but overall, man, I really like the way you think, and don't worry, it wasn't too hard to read it all. Let me know what you guys think about it. Peace.